I will issue a warrant for your arrest if you refuse to attend in person.
Can you please stop referring to me as a defendant?
Ms. Christian, I got to tell you, I don't know what in the heck you're talking about.
Because I really don't want to have to file claims and ruin people's lives and ruin their jobs because they're not upholding my constitutional rights as a woman, not a defendant. I am a woman only. I, woman Angela. I, woman Angela. I, woman Angela. That's it. Not defendant. I don't want to file claims. I'm trying very hard, and I've been trying hard to not do that.
All right, everyone, get ready because today's courtroom drama is one for the books. Imagine the ultimate showdown between a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen and a judge who isn't having any of it. From the moment this woman walks in, she is on a mission to cause chaos. She's loud, disruptive, and making some of the most bizarre legal claims you've ever heard. And if that wasn't enough, she even goes so far as to threaten the court itself. But just when you think it couldn't possibly escalate any further, the judge steps in with unshakable authority and completely shuts her down. It's almost impressive how confidently she spews nonsensical legal theories, as if she truly believes she's found a loophole no one else has. But here's the reality. She is completely out of her depth. Seriously, what goes through the minds of people like this? Do they actually believe they can talk their way out of legal consequences by throwing around legal jargon they barely understand? The way she carries herself, you'd think she was winning some kind of legal battle, but in reality, she's only digging herself deeper. And trust me, it only gets worse for her. The judge doesn't hesitate to take control of the courtroom, calmly and decisively dismissing her arguments one by one. It's the kind of moment where you can literally see the reality hitting her in real time. But instead of backing down, she just doubles down on the nonsense. I won't spoil everything, but let's just say this sovereign citizen gets a brutal wake-up call in a way that's both hilarious and painfully awkward to watch. So grab your popcorn, because this legal train wreck is about to unfold in spectacular fashion. Let's dive right in.
Good morning. We are back on the record in the 53rd Circuit Court for the County of Presqu'île. And Ms. Christensen, although you're appearing from your home, for convenience sake, it might not feel like a court hearing, but it is a court hearing, so I'm going to ask you to please remove your hat.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Okay, thank you. All right, so as we begin the hearing, just like last time, I'm required each time to remind you that you do have the right to the assistance of a lawyer if you wish. And that includes the right to a lawyer at public expense if you were indigent, and that you've previously waived that right and wish to represent yourself. And so I guess I want to ask you again, do you reaffirm that you'd like to represent yourself in this matter, or would you like to have a lawyer?
No, I would like to self-govern, and I stand on my paperwork.
Okay, so what we have today, you did file 4 written notices that asked for some type of relief, and we had adjourned the hearing to today for any argument on that. So the prosecutor has had a chance to review them. So Ms. Christensen, you say that you stand by the paperwork, and that's fine. I do have the paperwork in front of me. Is there any argument that you'd want to make on your behalf right now to me in support of those claims, or do you wish to just rely on the written pleadings you filed?
It is my wish to stand on my paperwork.
Okay. Mr. Radsbaum, do the people have any argument in opposition to those 4 notices?
Your Honor, I've reviewed the paperwork, and I guess while she may not recognize or honor the state of the law, I don't believe that there's any relief that's recognized under law that would allow you to dismiss this case against her based on what she's alleged in the paperwork. I fail to see it.
Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Christensen, now I'm going to make a ruling on the notices, which I'm construing as some motion or request for relief. And I've got a written order that I'll enter. I'll read it at this point. Defendant, who at this point in the case is representing herself, has filed 4 handwritten notices. These notices appear to seek relief in one form or another. As to the first notice, defendant asserts that she is a woman and not a defendant.
Honestly, how do these so-called sovereign citizens not feel embarrassed pulling off these ridiculous stunts? I mean, how can someone sit there, spouting absolute nonsense, and still manage to keep a straight face? It's almost impressive, but for all the wrong reasons. Watching her twist reality to dodge accountability is like watching someone attempt an escape act with no plan whatsoever. Let's be real here. The law isn't some choose-your-own-adventure book. If you break the law and get caught, you don't. Just get to deny reality and magically erase the consequences. That's not how any of this works. And yet, here she is, confidently claiming that she's not even a woman. When, well, she absolutely is. The levels of delusion and denial are honestly mind-blowing. What's even more concerning is how the legal system is forced to entertain this nonsense. Courts are bogged down with cases like these, and instead of focusing on real legal matters, judges are stuck listening to people who believe they can simply talk their way out of reality. And here's the part that really gets under my skin. These people actually manage to drag things out for so long that sometimes cases just get dismissed. Delays keep piling up, taxpayer money gets wasted, and eventually, some judges just throw the whole thing out to stop the circus. So here's my question. How did we even get here? How is it possible that sovereign citizens are allowed to waste this much time in the courtroom? And more importantly, why do they think this works? But hey, that's just my take. What do you guys think? Is the system too soft on these people? Or is this just an unavoidable headache of modern law? Let me know in the comments. And now, let's get back to the madness.
To the extent her notice seeks relief, such relief is denied. As to the second notice, defendant demands that any man or woman with a claim against her appear and present such claim in open court. To the extent that this notice seeks to invoke defendant's right to confront her accusers, this court will enforce that right. However, the right of confrontation does not require the complaining witnesses to appear at all pretrial hearings, but only the trial or any necessary evidentiary hearings. So to the extent that this notice seeks to require the appearance of any complaining witnesses at all pretrial hearings, such relief is denied. As to the third notice, defendant asserts that this court lacks authority over her and that only her creator has that authority. Without gainsaying the authority of the creator, it can be noted that religious traditions commonly recognize that the creator has instituted human authority as well. In this matter, the people of the state of Michigan, through ratifying the 1963 state constitution, as well as its predecessor constitutions, have established this court and its authority. The people of the state of Michigan, through their elected representatives, have established laws that apply in this court. And the people of this county have elected this judge to serve in this office. And this court has subject matter over this felony prosecution and has personal jurisdiction over this defendant. Any relief sought by this notice is denied. As to the fourth notice, defendant claims that this court and the government exist only because she allows them to exist. To the extent that this assertion reiterates the proposition that our constitutional republic is founded on the consent of the governed, such proposition is axiomatic as a general matter. However, this proposition does not require that the government must obtain consent or permission from each individual person before exerting governmental authority over that person. Such an idea is nonsense and would result not in a constitutional republic, but in anarchy. This defendant's views would render all the criminal laws null and void, which is legally and practically absurd. Therefore, any relief sought by this notice is also denied. All right, so Ms. Christensen, all of the claims and papers that you have filed, I have found to be lacking in legal and factual merit, and I have denied any such relief. And I'm entering a
That's fine. Can you please stop referring to me as a defendant? And I guess the next step will be, I guess I got to do the actual filing of the claims if you're going to deny all of those.
No, those, I don't know what claims you're talking about. You filed some claims or notices or requests.
No, I
What
did
do you
not
mean?
even file my claims yet. I did notices. I did not file my claims yet. I've been putting that off because I really don't want to have to file claims and ruin people's lives and ruin their jobs because they're not upholding my constitutional rights as a woman, not a defendant. I am a woman only. I, woman Angela. I, woman Angela. I, woman Angela. That's it. Not defendant. I'm not a defendant.
All that ranting, rambling, and ridiculous theatrics, only for the judge to hit her with a swift and effortless denied. You could practically see her brain short-circuiting in real time, desperately scrambling for another excuse, running purely on the last 2 brain cells she had left. Watching this meltdown unfold wasn't just frustrating. It was the kind of secondhand embarrassment that makes you want to look away. And just when you think the situation can't possibly get any more absurd, she pulls out one of the most laughable moves yet, declaring that she's not even the defendant. Like, what? That's the best she's got? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if sovereign citizens actually have a secret playbook where they just cycle through nonsensical legal jargon, hoping that something, anything, will stick. But here's the hard truth. It never has worked. And it never will. The law isn't some game where you can just opt out whenever it suits you. If you break the law, you face the consequences. Plain and simple. Honestly, I have no idea how much longer courts are going to put up with these kinds of antics. At this rate, maybe the best solution is to round up all the sovereign citizens and drop them onto a deserted island. No laws, no government, no judges. Just let them live out their fantasy of lawless existence and see how long their so-called sovereignty actually lasts. Spoiler alert, it wouldn't be long, but hey, that's just my take. What do you guys think? Is there any real way to stop these people from clogging up our courtrooms? Or are we just stuck dealing with this nonsense forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Oh, and don't go anywhere, because somehow this woman is about to take things to an even more insane level. Buckle up, because it's about to get wild.
And
Okay, in your opinion and legalese, yes, but I am a woman. So do we need to do trial by jury when we can do my claims and file my court with your court at the same time? Because that's going to be my next step, to file claims against everybody involved in this case. Because there is no verified claim, and complaints and claims are 2 different things. I don't want to file claims. I'm trying very hard, and I've been trying hard to not do that. But I guess if we got to keep going, that's my next step. And I will file proper claims with the proper people and the insurancing for the bonding. So I don't know what you want to do at this point, and I really don't want to have to do that.
Ms. Kristen, I got to tell you, I don't know what in the heck you're talking about. You're talking
know.
nonsense. So here's the thing. I am not going to relinquish my authority in this case. I'm not. All right. The prosecutor's office can dismiss the case. They're choosing not to. So that means we do have to go forward to a jury trial unless you want to plead guilty. All right. But what I'm also going to do is your ramblings here today and at previous hearings, and after I reviewed your written notices, it's clear to me that you have no concept of the legal and factual issues at stake. And
I would never know anything about legalese because I never went to school to do the legalese, so I don't understand that part.
All right, you're illustrating my next point, and you have no respect for the authority of the court. You continue to interrupt me and such, and file these nonsense claims. So I am hereby withdrawing my consent for you to represent yourself. I'm referring this matter to the Office of Assigned Counsel for appointment. So any papers you file in this case, I will reject, because they have to be filed.
Well, I don't accept that offer, and I do not require you to give me any court-appointed attorney, and I will self-govern because that is my right. I don't want an attorney. I don't do legalese. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful. I'm trying to be very decent.
Well,
I stand on my paperwork, and I'll do the rest of my paperwork. I will keep doing it, and now I'm going to file my claims, so that's fine. But no, I don't need no legal counsel. I refuse that offer. I do not accept that offer. I'm sorry. With all due respect to you, I don't accept that.
Well, Ms. Christensen, it wasn't an offer. So we are scheduling this next for a docket call on February 14th.
You couldn't make this up if you tried. Just when you think you've seen every possible courtroom stunt, here comes this woman with one of the most jaw-dropping moves ever. She actually billed the court for attending her own hearing. And we're not talking about some minor reimbursement. Request. She demanded a whopping $86,000 as compensation for simply showing up. Let that sink in. She genuinely believes that the legal system should pay her to defend herself. This isn't just a case of someone misunderstanding the law. This is sovereign citizen delusion at its absolute peak. If there were a ranking system for legal absurdity, she'd be sitting right at the top, wearing the crown. The sheer audacity of her demand is almost impressive. Almost. But here's where it gets even better. The judge wasn't having any of it. No frustration, no arguing, no drawn-out back and forth. He handled it with pure professionalism and authority, shutting down her nonsense without breaking a sweat. It's honestly refreshing to see a judge who knows exactly how to deal with these kinds of tactics, especially when so many others end up getting dragged into the circus. Now, I have to ask, was the judge too strict? Or did he handle this situation perfectly? And let's not forget the most mind-blowing part. She actually had the nerve to threaten the judge. Like, what outcome was she expecting? It's almost as if she's living in an entirely different reality where legal consequences simply don't exist. If you found this courtroom saga as unbelievable and frustrating as I did, let me know in the comments. And if you love diving into wild legal moments like this, make sure to subscribe because I cover cases like this every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.